Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Space 2. I think we're in a small amount of trouble. So at the end of the last video, we got attacked by a Craver fleet that's using swarm missiles, which I don't think I've ever actually seen before. They made our ballistic solution, our ballistic flak cannon solution, seem woefully inadequate, like hilariously inadequate. So we're gonna have to figure out a solution here. So the first thing I want to check is, let's look at, do I have swarm missiles? I do. Okay, great. So the damage of a swarm missile battery is 17 DPS against the 61 DPS of decay torpedoes that we have. All right. If we assume that he has better military tech than we do, which we know to be true, actually, because he has more command points than we do, he's maybe using advanced swarm missiles? Or is there another level above that? It could be on extremes. So yeah, it looks to me like swarm missiles just have a way lower DPS than normal missiles. The trade-off being that they aren't countered by flak defense. So we just do normal missiles against his swarm missiles then? Because if we try to use energy weapons against him, then we're going to have to deal with the range issue, right? Like we either have to use beams, which do pretty poor DPS, or we have to use lasers and endure the fact that during the long-range phase of the fight, the first phase of the fight, he is at maximum effectiveness while we aren't. Maybe we just play his long-range game with him, but hit him with normal torpedoes against his swarm torpedoes, which means we'll be taking all the damage, but he'll be taking even more. I think that's probably the play, right? And these are 79 DPS. Yeah, we can just out damage him, I guess. So, there's no sense in fighting this battle. We should run. We'll be back, don't worry. We're definitely going to make a battle arc here, but we're going to, obviously, retrofit it a little bit. So, I am not up for bullet weapons. We don't quite have access to our sweet titanium torpedoes, and we need to make this arc now. But even the basic decay torpedoes should beat him. Let's pull, obviously, the shielding. I wish I had a better sense of what projectile defense actually does, point for point, because it's hard for me to know, right? Like, is 544 health bonus with 80 projectile defense better than 1,680 shields on top of a smaller health bonus with energy defense that doesn't matter if I already have some projectile defense? Because if projectile defense is a percentage scaler, then at some point, additional raw health in the form of the shield capacity would be more effective than additional projectile defense. But if projectile defense is a flat damage reduction, then it will always be better to get more projectile defense, assuming that these numbers are balanced against each other in the first place, because there's some amount of health that would be better than projectile defense no matter what, right? I don't know. I'm still frustratingly ignorant. Alright, let's pull all these. If we're gonna have to retrofit this thing in the end anyway, let's, I'm gonna go ahead and put one shielding module in. That'll mean that we're not super easily retrofitted against. And then we have access to a couple of other things. We should probably put at least one decent engine. I don't want to pay antimatter for an engine, but one good engine in this thing. I'll have it at 9 speed, which is as fast as any of our ships. And then 15% extra repairs on a ship that has 12,000 health is pretty good. Do I want to just do a pair of those? What are my other options here? Oh, projectile damage enhancement. Oof, this is going to make this thing cost 8 antimatter. I mean, I think it's powerful, though. And if the Ark can tank for the other ships, that's gonna... It having a lot of health and a lot of defenses increases the chance of our other ships actually getting to do damage for their entire life. So let's pop this Ark in here. Alright, you guys start running for there as well. We'll put that fleet together. So we have 10 command points. So we'll go, an Ark is 4, and then, yeah, actually it'll be everything, right? It'll be the Ark and the Brand and all 3 of these gouges together makes a fleet. And we will go back to and we will blow up all of the Cravers. We also, I mean, we still have problems, right? This is not the only Craver fleet that we're going to have to fight. But I guess we'll get to Hamal, we'll figure it all out. We're still truced with these guys for 7 turns. They're not going to attack us.
Are you back as friend or foe? Speak fast.
I think we can probably get peace with them, which I think is probably to our benefit. I know that staying at Cold War helps in that we can steal their systems more easily, but we might want to take advantage of this to sort of seal off, or at least slow down one of the other avenues of attack that is available to the AI. It's nice to have a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if she'll go for this, because obviously more science would be great for us. If she won't, I'll just do the peace. Okay, she rejected. Whoa. Whoa. I thought we were basically cool. That's a very... It's a very harsh reaction. Can I get anything from her? Does she have any Jadonics? She has 5. She probably would not trade us any Adamantine if she only has 10. She's not going to give us a tech, that's for sure. Give me your maps? No. Okay, you know what? Peace is good. Peace is fine. Who doesn't love a little peace? Alright. I'm worried. I'm not going to try to tell you I'm not. Okay, these are pirate vessels, so I think I should try not to be here when they arrive. Oh, yeah. New system needs to build things. So we don't quite have the money to afford the Jadonics, but we will next turn, right? Yeah. Okay, so this turn, we don't have the ability to force population. So, I don't know, for a turn, work on this. I'm not going to boost that, obviously. We need the money to buy the Jadonics. Alright. Yeah, we're in danger, for sure. Oh, what? And Idris is so upset it's going to rebel. Man, do I not have time for this. Okay. Merge them all up. We have 3 movement points altogether. You know, it's just 1 gouge. It's probably not worth spending a bunch of money on. Let's get our Jadonics. Get this going. What the heck is going on at Idris? Why are we so mad? Oh, we just hate the planets. That's right. We also already have the approval booster. What do you guys want? If we gave them 25 Jadonics, they would calm down. Can we reconfigure our government a little bit to solve this problem? Hey, Toys for Boys is the only option we have on that front. You know, there have been worse times for minus 10% industry. We're mostly focused on science right now. I mean, we still need to be able to build ships. But maybe this is an okay time for this. Start running some backup vessels over in this direction. Oh hey, honest policy. Is that not enough to solve it? We're still at 0, huh? You know, it doesn't look like we're getting the plus 20 from honest policy yet, though. So I get this might fix itself when we hit end turn.
You're one of our favorite fish in this galactic sea.
It is absolutely true that neither of us is quite like the Cravers. Although, I guess I'm not that different. there are similarities. Alright, this F Reality Institute's almost done. That's going to be beautiful. Did we not? We didn't quite finish advanced fusion power. It looks like our science level changed. Okay, that's actually good information, though. That means that adjustments to approval are made before you get your science for the turn. Or something, because, you know, the amount of science we were projected to get for the turn was not the amount we actually got. That's interesting. Doesn't really factor into things too much, I suppose. So we need to... Let's see, a lot of these ships have non-ideal weapons. You're actually fine. Yeah, the gouges have pretty not-ideal weaponry. And there's no way we can afford a retrofit. Well, any gouges we build in the next little while should be outfitted like this. Out of curiosity, what would be the cost of one retrofit? Okay, we can retrofit these two. We can't do this guy because you have to repair them to retrofit them. So actually, this fleet is pretty effective. Oh, you're kidding me. We're 1 point short of being at Micra next turn. That's a bummer. Alright, but mostly things are going pretty well. I think I'm down with finishing these science buildings before we very seriously consider building more ships, because we're very close to finishing all of them and they're going to be pretty okay for us. Still need all that science, man. That's 15 ships. Okay, some of them left. It looked like they were headed toward Jaen, maybe? These guys are at war with Green, right? Yeah. Okay, our population boost ran out. That's not something we're ever going to have to worry about not dealing with. So, Idris is still mutinous. You know, the 20 approval from that event is still not being reported here. Alright, we're gonna have to figure this out. We don't have to figure it out right now, I guess. Oh yeah, okay. Those guys that we had just met. That's fair. Yeah, right? Probably. That seems like a pretty good skill to pick up. The capital is done with science buildings and has suddenly happened upon a huge amount of production. They're headed to Zorak, it looks like? So it kind of looks like we can just go back home, right? All of the Cravers bailed out of Micro when they saw us coming, which I think is a good thing. It's heartening. So this is a large world. You know, I think this works even on strategic deposits that you're not currently mining. We do need to get that adamantium eventually, but I don't know that we need it right now. I think it's probably not worth going to grab it before we finish the Endless Tech. Because, of course, once we finish this, it'll be cheaper. Like, every tech that we research before finishing Genius of the Endless is us throwing extra turns onto the end of our victory. It would really be best if we waited. So yeah, why don't we build a brand? Do I want to refit the brands with missile weapons? Probably I do, right? We're kind of going all in on this strategy. But if I'm going to build a new brand, it should probably be a missile weapon brand. And now we could do the fusion torpedoes. The DPS difference is significant, and we have way more titanium than we need. Yeah, okay. Make me one of these. Make me a couple of these, probably. We're out of manpower. We're going to generate 4,000 essence over the next 2 turns. So we can afford to drop 1,000 essence into other stuff. If I put more population down here, is this system going to freak out? Yes, kind of. Ugh, approval is a real issue right now. A real issue that we don't have time for. Alright, we should probably use Cuyos to generate manpower. And then we could do a population boost on Ingress. Or we could do 2 more military penances. Yeah, I'm gonna commit some military penance here. In fact, I'm gonna do 2 turns of it here, so we'll do it again here next turn, and that'll still get us. Yeah, that'll still get us a another arc in 2 turns. But also, we'll actually have the manpower to fill up all these brands we're building. So you... I guess we could send some probes toward the Craver worlds we already know about and try to gather some intel on their ships. The current state of their navy. You should definitely keep drinking. Does that change the math? It doesn't. Then I guess don't. Just let them build up population so that we can drink from them later when it will change the math. Or... right now we're headed toward... well, we're actually going to generate 4,160-ish. So we're headed toward 778.29, I think? 78 something. Which means... no. Siphoning for 2 more turns is not going to get us enough essence to run an additional use of essence to manpower. But we actually have enough for 2 uses more, I think, already. Unless I'm doing bad math, which is the worst kind of math to do out loud in front of a couple hundred people. Alright, so we're going to take control of Micra because they are giving it up. It looks like their ships aren't actually very fast, if that's a single turn of movement. So I believe they're headed towards Zorak, and we can beat them there. Yep, let's go for science. And where are you? You're on Artemis? You know what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this, and we're going to swap you to Idris. Never mind. Idris is fine now? I have no idea what's going on with my people. Okay. So the reassignment cooldowns are all fixed. We definitely want to swap him over to here. Right, yeah, we're getting way more science science here because of the number of anomalies. And in fact, there are 6 anomalies on these 5 planets. It's not bad. 7, probably, once we search this. Although that could just be a luxury thing. And then, honestly, Zorak's kind of under control. I am going to go ahead and move her to Idris. We could really, really use the approval. We could use another level still. Alright, so we have a large planet here. This thing's pretty good. This thing is also pretty good. This is going to be 2 science on 2 of the planets and 4 on the other. Whereas this is going to be 2 science on every planet. So let's do that. Yeah. I don't think I want to try to build ships here. Construction is too slow. Over on Artemis, I would love to build the F-Reality Institute. We will do that just as soon as we can. For now, it's going to be 4 turns before we can do that. So what can I do for 4 turns? We could build this thing, just a bunch of extra dust. We don't actually need a lot of approval here. We don't benefit from additional mining. Oh, no, that's not true. We do run low on Hyperium, or at least we have a couple of times. But you know what? This would be really powerful here, because this is the system in our empire where we have the highest effective population. Yeah, let's build that. We'll build the F-Reality Institute right after it finishes. That's pretty good. So, like I said, I think we want to do another one of these. And Chang needs something to do. Does it also run military pendants? Let's see. We're not in a lot of danger. Like, there's no huge value in having Chang be high on influence. I guess we'll grab this a little faster, which is actually pretty good. Yeah, maybe that is right. Actually, Chang's not super happy. Yeah, we can run those. We definitely need to drag our empire-wide approval up. Somebody starved on it. That's why Idris is okay now. Somebody starved, which reduced our unhappiness. Well, that's kind of a crappy way to come to it, but alright. Yeah, here, because the impact is relatively low, we'll do another one of these. That should give us enough manpower to cover all of our ships and stuff. And I think this hunter fleet is just going to head to Zorak, because those Cravers certainly are. Ah, in fact, they had a second fleet headed in this direction as well. Well, we'll get here and play defense and just eat them both up. This is a logistics fleet. Could I get over there in 1 turn? Am I fast enough? I am. Let's go snatch their logistics fleet real quick. We could use the money. There's no weapon modules on this ship. I took all the weapons off. Never mind. That's not a thing that helps. Instead, we will fire probes deep into the heart of Craver space. That was definitely what I was planning to do the whole time. Get the heck out of there next turn. And you, again, actually being engaged here doesn't help, but it does damage the growth of these people, and we want them to grow so that we can continue to drink them. Alright, so we want to mash this button as quickly as possible. I want to try to get that fleet into defense mode around Zorak before those Craver ships show up so that they can't run. Oh, it turns out they're not even going to make it this turn. Not really an issue. These ships are headed toward us, I think. Yeah, this is the front. Alright, let's re-engage you. Make sure these guys are all sporting the latest torpedo weaponry. And I think we're cool. The real question is, do I want to build another war arc? Or should this next one be a for taking Cepheus? I kind of think I want to build another war arc just to be safe. Yeah, let's do that on Micra. Actually, hold on. We can update this even more. Now we have access to the good torpedoes. War Arc. Okay. I'm feeling a lot safer with the War Arcs. We're down to only 15 turns to Genius of the Endless. We're still gaining science in a number of places. We have 675 manpower. These take 300. What does the Arc eat? Less than that, actually. Okay, so we have the manpower necessary to actually feed our ships. All right, I think we should be good. Good-ish. Cool-ish. Sort of good, kind of, sometimes. With authority. So I don't really know what to do with our scout ship now. Let's see, we're pretty near the top edge of the galaxy here. But we're in the bottom of this top arm, kind of. I'm wondering if there might be stuff up here, basically. Or maybe we should just take him to, like, Idris, and then fire some probes out, like, fan out here. We might still be able to find some disconnected systems that we could take over. You can probably... Oh, sorry. Go back to harvesting. We still have pirate marks over here. I guess I'm not really that worried about that. So we have some extra brands. What do I want to do with these ones? We're about to have the War Arc over here. We could have something go over here to deal with pirates, but like pirates aren't actually going to beat our arcs anytime soon anyway. Maybe we send them to Elion? This brand design doesn't have siege modules, right? Yeah, I pulled them. Maybe we refit it, put siege modules onto those two brands, and then just go and hang out on this pirate system? No, I shouldn't assume that we're safe. Not until I see some actual evidence. You guys go to Micra. Make sure. 5,400 science per turn. It's getting pretty good. It's going to keep getting better, too. We're pulling religious military. Not really a surprise there. I would be very surprised if that wasn't the outcome of this election. Alright, our research rate is jumping all over the place. We gotta get our science under control. By which I mean we gotta get our approval under control. Okay, obviously, you must die. We don't have to watch this. It's going to be pretty straightforward. But we're going to watch it, because I think it will be fun. Oh, you know what? We got to change this up, too. We got to change up our tactics. Never mind, nothing to watch the running. Because technically, Cepheus is neutral. Very annoying. Oh no, Calent Alcor has passed. I am very upset about the latter, or whatever. Well, we're definitely doing this one. One of those says plus science, and the other one doesn't. Not a very difficult choice. So we definitely want to stay here. We don't want to chase them. Because that big fleet is still coming. Okay. So we have 6 command points worth of brands coming in. We'll unite those with the other war arc, and then we'll maybe go on the offensive a little bit. I'm just going to let these little invader ships get away. I'm not really that concerned about them. They're not going to be able to take on an arc or anything, so we are in no danger. All right. So is this the moment where I want to pull species stability in favor of Toys for Boys? You know, we actually might be able to get to ecstatic. It's possible. I'm going to try it. 84%. Well, we're continuing to build approval stuff. We will get there. Okay, we are nowhere near being able to buy that out. Never mind. We can't even buy this out, jeez. Well, I'm going to make that the next thing we build here, so in 2 or 3 turns we'll be ecstatic. We'll be back at our higher research rate. There are no anomalies here. You know, honestly, though, like, approval is a big deal. I guess we're already ecstatic here. Yeah, let's just go to this, I suppose. Yeah, this planet's large. That'll be pretty good for our science. The completion of this will also be pretty good for our science. We're actually going to end up a little short on adamantium because I forgot to calculate in the fact that the arc we were building had an adamantium cost. Oh no, but we have both of our mining planets back now, so we're getting 6 per turn. Never mind, not a big deal. Oh, pirates are attacking the leech. Well, it should run away. I didn't plan on that. We got too many conflicts going on here. Not enough people to defend the leech. It hasn't needed defense up until now. So we're super happy here. We don't really need this. I mean, kind of all we really need right now is ships. Maybe we should be using these racks for something. We have another ship design available to us, and we're just not using it. I almost knocked over my chair just now. Very excited about the idea of putting the racks to some kind of use. So what can we do with them? Well, we actually have a number of interesting options, don't we? So we could be farming science from our battles. We can make, like, science scoops. Okay, that's also a... Hold on a second. What do the modules actually look like here? Okay. So if we did this, and we just included 1 or 2 of these in each fleet, we could give them different weapons, just to, you know, make things a little bit easier for us in terms of not having to retrofit them all the time. They'll tend to be strong against enemies because the enemies will be teching against our other ships. We could pick up fleet movement bonus, which is kind of cool, but extra science. Extra science is very good. So, okay. Maybe let's make a couple of racks. I don't know exactly how we're going to employ these or where, but having ships that can scoop up some extra science from combat will definitely speed up our science victory. And in fact, with the military party winning a second election, we'll probably get that the Spoils of War law, which will also help. Yeah, we're in a good place here. We're going to come in about 500 essence over what we need to actually build the next arc. So we could do a proliferation here. It would drag our approval down very slightly. I think it's worth the gain is worth it. 12 turns, they tell us. Did I miss? Oh yeah, Micro right there, right in the middle of everything. Okay, Micro needs to build some basic science tech. It turns out we've been so focused on everything else here. All right, do that, and then we'll figure it out from there. Okay. So now all these Craver ships that are arriving at Zorak this turn are stuck here. They're not even arriving this turn. Holy crap, Craver ships are slow. Alright, back to Cold War with you. Natural births, pretty great.
How are you these days?
They would like an alliance. I do not want to go to war against an unknown empire, and I really don't want you mucking up my victory conditions, so no thank you. This is becoming a real issue. I think we're pushing back on them now, but I'm a little worried about Micra too. Alright, so we get to contribute a couple extra ships here. We're going to have the election. I can't remember if the election is at the beginning of turn 80 or at the end. So I don't know if we'll have our new law available, but we can drop a gouge from this fleet and swap the rack in, which is almost certainly right. That's right, the gouges aren't the things that are making this fleet run. Can get that science boost from winning the battle. Oh, especially since these guys are coming back, we're going to get to eat them. Actually, what they're doing here is they're overwhelming us. They're trying to make it so that we don't have enough ships to fight all of the stuff they've sent in. But we'll use this fleet to engage the big fleet, and we'll use this secondary fleet to kill the scouts. And we'll actually be able to put more racks into that battle as well, which is good. Okay, so it looks like Micra's pretty safe. Merge these guys up. I'm going to send this fleet to Polaris. Let's just have a little chat with them. Oh, they got incoming. And we have a fleet that has 2 brands in it. I think we should be okay. Studios, I suppose, could build some basic stuff. That's fine. Yeah, alright. We're still just south of Devoted, although this turn will probably see that change. Hopefully. Okay, yeah, I think it did, because the number of turns in Genius of the Endless changed. We took an extra turn off of it. Alright, so here's the thing. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, they have to attack us to prevent us from changing our fleet around however we want, because they can't move. Yeah. Lower your approval cost. We're going to have to start taking... Sure, we can just blow these guys up real fast. We're going to have to start taking some fleet skills on him, and then maybe we will seg him to being a fleet commander at some point. The fact is, we don't need a fleet commander nearly as badly as we need somebody who gives bonus science, which he's actually, despite not really being a governor, pretty great at, so... Wait, I thought... Didn't an attack happen here? Huh. Okay. So we have Marauder, Butcher, Butcher, Reaper, Jesus. Merge you guys up. I think we're cool to go back down here. Those pirates got eaten. Right, we can take out this logistics fleet, which is cool. Wow, that was a good one. We don't have a huge manpower advantage, which I hate. I hate it when we don't have a huge advantage. But we might be able to scare these guys. We also might be able to build some siege ships and send them over here. So, them not attacking us, I think bodes well for us, but this is a lot of scary ships. So it looks like they've changed up their weapons a little bit. Lasers, this is still a swarm missile ship. But they've also sent in something that looks like it's partially missiles, partially lasers. something that is all beams. And these guys look like they're still on swarm missiles. Alright, let's take a moment to adjust our battle tactics before we declare war here. So we want something that's going to allow as much of us to be at long as possible. You know, barrage fire is not bad. Plus 2% damage at long range per enemy ship. We could run Grim Recycling instead. Repair the ships that survive based on the number of ships that die. Or Temporal Drag, which I think is more useful if we think we're going to lose the battle. But, like, not by very much. Because if with Temporal Drag they would do enough damage to still kill you, then you'd be better off doing something that increases your damage. Let's pull Revive and Rebuild. Swap in Barrage Fire. Confirm. And then I think we attack. Obviously I'm nervous. Their fleet is estimated at 4,500 strength versus ours, which is estimated at 6,200. We're not particularly countering each other's weapons, we're just kind of like both slugging away. They actually have better defenses than we do, but a lot of their defenses are shielding, which is not super relevant against what we're doing. Yeah, alright. I think we have it. I think we can do it. Oh, hold on. That's also not calculating in actual health, though. They have about 51,000 combined health, and we have considerably less. So the Reaper is going to tank... And this Reaper has more health than our Arc does. And it's going to do a good job of tanking the damage. Because it's a coordinator, it'll have that increased chance to be targeted thing. We kind of need to park this Arc somewhere and give it a level so that it gets additional health and stuff. I think we attack, though. I sure hope this doesn't turn out to be a huge mistake. Alright, so I think we want to run Barrage Fire. Really, really run as much damage as we can. They have a hero and we don't. I didn't notice that. Although their hero doesn't look great. And it looks like he's largely missiles. Like partially missiles, partially bullets. Alright, let's see it. I'm a little concerned. Oh, I didn't manually set up my my flotillas, and I really should have. That could be really bad. Could be really bad. Well, we have more ships. Alright, so the missile barrage trades should favor us tremendously. Wow, that's a lot of damage to that Arc. Yeah, unfortunately, that thing is going to get its second volley into us completely. Alright, but that's one of their butchers down. Over here, we're going to lose 2 small ships to their medium ships very easily. Okay, but the Arc should be pretty dominant in combat over... Oh, wow, it's taken a lot of damage yet. Okay, this is really bad. The Arc is getting some good volleys off over this way, though. A lot of misses. Huge number of misses. We are very clearly not being treated as though we are at long range. We're doing good damage, though. We do have another combat Arc not too far away that could respond. Okay, we're actually going to get this butcher. And I mean, we do have more ships than this here. We can refill this fleet's losses. So now the question is, no. I was going to say, can we get some more kills before the battle ends, but I don't think so. I think we're done. So, costly. Actually, not that costly. The Arc's pretty damaged, but we only lost 3 small ships. against their 3 mediums and a small. They also ran barrage fire. It's respectable. Yeah, okay. That was, looked worse than it was. What would it cost to repair these ships? 10k. That's actually not out of reach. So now we have a brand and 2 racks and a gouge. I'm going to go ahead and attack with these guys. We also got 1600 science there, which is, it's not anywhere close to a full turn, but it's helpful. It's something. Every turn we get off of this endless tech is a huge difference in the speed of our research victory. I really cannot underline that enough. Let's see. We can make another combat arc in Zorak this turn. We might have to, just for safety's sake. I'm gonna go ahead and launch this attack. I think we can bully them out of here. So let's go barrage fire. Yeah, and I do want to watch this. So these guys can be in the medium length, in the medium distance flotilla. That's fine. They might just die before they can scoop us any science. But I mean, even if they die, their presence in the battle, as you could see from that last one, them just being present at any point in the battle means we do get the science. Okay, a retreat. But just the one ship retreated. It merged the ships up. Okay, they all took damage as though they had retreated, though. And we got the resources for that. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Okay, so Zorak outputs a combat arc just to make sure that we are on top of this. Denark University just finished, and we have just enough adamantium to go for this. That's actually our highest science system, even before the F-Reality Institute. That's fantastic. Yeah, I feel very good about our rate of research here. It just needs to build stuff. This is fine. Very slowly build that. I don't think we need to refocus on ship production too much. So you guys could what? What am I going to do with you? I mean, we could pick up more mining, but we don't really need to. I guess we've gone through a lot of titanium very quickly. Maybe we do need to do this. Just to be on the safe side. And we're showing as loyal even though we are at 85%. I'm assuming that we are at 84 point something percent and there's a rounding thing happening here. Well, not too much I can do. God, I wish we were ecstatic. I'm pretty sure that researching Luxuries Lottery won't do anything here. We could move Varb somewhere. Losing this bonus on our largest system, or one of our largest systems, would be bad. But if the approval boost... Like, are we over 120 here? Yeah, we absolutely are. Yeah, if the 20 points of approval boost on another system put us over the top... Let's see, Micra's... not... I mean, Micra's... I was going to say it's not that much lower in population, but it kind of is. We can move you to Artemis. No, I think this makes sense. I think we're going to be able to push our empire-wide approval, over devoted by doing that, which means that we took a turn off of Genius of the Endless by doing that. Yeah, 72-39. Okay, yeah, that's the right play for sure. So we still have a battle to worry about this turn here. That's an Annihilator. That's a real warship. Holy crap, that's big. They're not attacking us, though. They'd win, though, wouldn't they? Like, hugely, massively win? Okay, this thing is all missiles and energy defenses. 34,000 health. I wonder if we can get peace. Really? -0 from fleet battles? I kind of think that some of those fleet battles went pretty well for me. Maybe we're not going to see the real numbers until next turn. I'm very disappointed, though, that we got so outfleeted here. He's not attacking. He plans to just leave next turn. I don't think we want to engage. I think we want to allow him to leave. It really is just the one ship that's scary, but it's so scary. Do that real quick. Alright, let's rebuild this fleet a little bit. So we need the gouge and the 2 racks, I guess? Or maybe, yeah, maybe after we build the new arc. I do think I want to build it here rather than on Micra, because I don't want it to immediately get blown up. I'm really hoping they're just going to bail next turn. The fact that they haven't attacked us suggests that they would just like to go. I don't know where they would like to go, but I do know that... Oh, no, they have 9 move. I was going to say I do know that they'll get there slowly, but I guess they've been refitting their ships for movement speed. We're so close to being just like in an open sprint. And I mean, as soon as we have Genius of the Endless, we're going to be so much better at gaining military power, and the difference is going to be tremendous. Alright, let's hope that they just leave. I think they're just going to leave. Look at that. Look at that wait until after I hit next turn to move your ship's play. I hate that. Alright, we actually do want the religious militarists to win, so we're going to just do this. Not going to spend influence cheating the election. The people are already voting the correct way. Yeah, we don't need to watch that. So yep, the Spoils of War Act is available. Although I guess I don't know that we equip it, because we'd have to lose science to do so. Yeah, they're just leaving. Ah, okay. Polaris drew them off. Great. So obviously they'll run. Oh, I guess they didn't have very much health, so they... Either way, they die. We do have a large world here. I mean, it's looking a lot to me like there's nothing else sort of outside of us on the spiral. Okay, so we'll catch this guy coming in and blow him up too. The Leecher can leech us a little bit. It's probably not going to actually get us anywhere. We're not really accomplishing anything here. We definitely can't attack them, because they have about twice as much manpower as it's showing here. Plus 10 population to draw conscription from, but we've done a good job of drawing off some of their fleets. We bought ourselves a little bit of time. Why don't you guys just head back to Micra? If we can just endure a little while longer. Really, 0.1 from fleet battles. That's all the war pressure I'm getting on them from absolutely obliterating all those fleets. That's a bummer. That's very frustrating. So do we need to build more ships? I just need the Cravers to back down. I need to do something to back them down. Unfortunately, I don't think we're actually going to be able to, like, kill all their ships. That Annihilator is terrifying. Yes, make me a couple more brands. Yeah. We really just need this science thing to work out. It needs to happen quickly. Alright, so how do we want to... do we want to run this fleet this way? This is pretty good, actually. This fleet can definitely deal on defense for a little while they're just repairing. Let's merge these guys up. You guys are going on offense a little bit. Man, war arcs are really nice, though. Being able to just, like, every few turns get the equivalent of a free, like, medium plus ship. It doesn't cost production time or anything. Pretty good. Oh, you know what I should do? After we kill this guy next turn, I'm going to run this fleet down to here, anchor at Cepheus briefly, perform a system development upgrade, because the system development upgrade actually does upgrade the stats of the arc. You can see here the health, the offensive military power, and the manpower that it's carrying all upgrade when you and its defensive power all upgrade when it's higher level. So yeah, I should do that. In fact, I have an action point here. We could unanchor this, anchor this guy. Oh no, I need to wait a turn. I couldn't just do it all in the same turn. You know, maybe I don't actually care about this invader that much. And we'll make it down here in 1, right? No, we will not. But we would if we weren't partially depleted from... Yeah, okay. So moving this turn isn't going to make it any faster, because either way, I arrive and anchor next turn. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll upgrade that. I probably don't want to evict these guys so that just to be able to use this system for anchoring for the same stuff, because if I do that, I'm afraid purple's going to take the system. I guess not that we couldn't drive their outposts out, but no, I think we're okay. So you are firing probes. You are in defense mode. All right, and that fleet that went to Polaris is going to take at least 2 turns to get anywhere else. We bought ourselves a little bit of time there. Just take care of this real fast. That's not the right tactic, but it doesn't matter. All right, by any chance...
One of our favorite fish in...
Nope. I was going to say, by any chance is either of these the Cravers coming to talk terms? But no, it appears that that is not a thing that is going to happen. Okay, these guys retreating will get caught at Akamar, so that's good for us. Move you to Cepheus and get that upgrade. Use my action point. Okay, we'll get the upgrade next turn. Right, kind of forgot about that. Even more approval for your system is probably a good idea. And so now, with that... No, we probably can't change our laws. We probably still need to hold it. I'd really love to run Spoils of War, but I don't think we can afford to cut either of these, at the very least, until Genius of the Endless is done. How are we doing on science upgrades? We're going to get a couple of big science upgrades over the next 2 turns, so hopefully that'll speed up. So that fleet reached Polaris this turn, and then may have turned around or might have headed toward Akamar. Trying to keep this in such a way that I can have an accurate idea of our military strength here. Let's keep probing. I would love to go on offense against them, but I really can't do that until I have some kind of decent answer. I guess, as fast as our ships are, we could just try to concentrate everything at Polaris. Maybe that is the right play. We'd have to run some siege ships over to actually be a threat to Polaris, but we could use it as a bottleneck. The problem is that Centaurus and Micra are so close together that he's just going to send ships over free space. So it's not, Polaris is not really a bottleneck. I like market-wide price increases. That's good for us. Science buildings we're missing are still pretty expensive. I kind of want to keep my dust available for retrofits and stuff. But to be ready for the continuing evolution of this this war here. I think we're good for now. Alright. At the beginning of the turn here, let's keep an eye on this area. Is that the Annihilator fleet? It is not. It's a different fleet. Okay, I'm not that concerned about them. These are some random pirates? Ooh, that ending is bad for us. Okay, this is helpful though. We're definitely not taking -20 approval on our systems. Lowered technology cost is a big deal when you're researching a thing like Genius of the Endless, which has a huge cost. Yeah, look at that. Just taking that event lowered that by 2 turns. And we're still hanging at Devoted. Okay. We're walking a fine line here. I'm trying to boost our science as quickly as possible without endangering our survival. And I think things are going pretty well so far. Okay, we can definitely stand to gain some approval here. Actually, okay, we do have 1 planet in the system now that has strategics, so this is probably worth picking up. Alright, next turn we're going to gain a lot of science. We probably will not take another turn off Genius of the Endless, but it's going to be a lot of science output. I'm a little worried about this, actually. This is a lot more pirate than I wanted to see. They might not attack us. My concern is that if I set this guy to anchor, we're slightly outnumbered by them. They have a medium and 2 smalls. I guess they're pretty weak, though. Yeah, we're fine. It's fine. Oh, it anchors the whole fleet. We need to buy 20 Jadonics. Oof, that's starting to get expensive. Take a quick level on that ship. And this is now a really huge number of ships. Again, they're not attacking. I think he's more nervous than this would let on.
We are coming.
No, you're here. I see you. Hello. Oh? Did you hear that? That was... Okay, that's interesting. Listen, if we can just get this dude to stop attacking us at any cost so that we can have a little bit of time to develop, we are for sure going to gain more military strength over the next 10 or 15 turns than he is. So you know what? I'm not going to fiddle with this right now. We just hit an hour on the video. But I am going to, before the next video, spend some time messing with that and see if I can hammer out a peace deal, a truce deal, that works for us. Because again, if we can just back him down for a little while, our military power is going to explode while his continues to gain slowly. It's going to be very, very good for us. So, that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time to see if I can sort of juke this fool out of his pants. And we'll see you then.